Hello. In this week's Torah portion, Tavo, we read about offering God the first fruit of the harvests, the commandment of Bikurim. Quote, "You shall take some of every first fruit of the soil and put it in a basket. The priest shall take the basket and set it down in front of the altar. You shall say, I now bring the first fruits of the soil which you, O Lord, have given me. You shall then leave it and bow low before the Lord your God. And you shall enjoy, together with the Levites and the stranger in your midst, all the bounty that the Lord your God has bestowed upon you and your households." Unquote. The priests later divided the fruit among themselves to be eaten later and gave back the ornate, expensive baskets to their owners. So, we give God the first fruit in exchange for his favor. People have a deep feeling that if they want to get something, they must give something in return, of equal or higher value. There's no free lunch. The Romans called it do ut des, which means I give so that you will give. It's an entrenched belief. In ancient times, people sacrificed human beings to their gods in order to pacify them and obtain their favor. The gods were always angry. Children were the people's most valuable possession. Teenage virgin daughters were next in line. In the Torah, Abraham did not protest when God told him to sacrifice his son. He protested only when God threatened to destroy both the righteous and the wicked in Sodom and Gomorrah. Human sacrifice is found in just about every culture up to biblical times. We find it among the Japanese, the Mongols, the Scythians, the Tibetans, the Indians, the West Africans, the ancient Egyptians, the ancient Chinese, the Cretans, the Celts, the Etruscans, the Germans, the Phoenicians, the Hawaiian, the Carthaginians, the Incas, and others. In the year 1487, the Aztecs sacrificed 80,000 people in 4 days when they reconsecrated the Great Pyramid of Tenochtitlan. Parents and teachers raised children to consider it a high honor to be chosen for sacrifice. God weaned Jews from human sacrifice. The Torah says, quote, "And you shall not let any of your seed pass through the fire to the idol Molech. If you do, you will surely be put to death by stoning." Unquote. However, to get people to accept the Torah, God could not completely remove the notion that he had to ask something tangible from them before granting his favor. So he asked for things such as animal sacrifices, first fruits, and what was needed to build the tabernacle: gold, fine linens, animal skins, and precious stones. As an aside, let us mention here that since the Middle Ages, Jews have often been maliciously accused of sacrificing Christian children to make Passover matzah. This is known as the blood libel. Yet the Torah strictly forbids both human sacrifice and drinking blood. The bigger the lie, the more it is believed. In his Guide for the Perplexed, Maimonides downplays sacrifices. He said they were a necessary transitional step between the human sacrifices of the pagans and the kind of worship God really wanted, which is prayer. If God had asked only for prayer back then, the people would not have followed. They were not ready to confine their worship to something so abstract. This is what he said, quote, "The custom in those days among all men consisted in sacrificing animals. God did not command us to give this up, for this would have been contrary to the nature of man, who generally cleaves to that which he is used. Sacrifices, however, are not the primary object of the commandments about sacrifice. Prayers are. To wit, we were not commanded to sacrifice in every place and in every time, or to build a temple in every place, or to allow anybody to become a priest and sacrifice. Only the temple was appointed, and only, as the Torah says, in the place which the Lord shall choose. In no other place were we allowed to sacrifice. The Torah says, be careful not to give your burnt offerings in every place that you see, and only the members of a particular family were allowed to officiate as priests. All these restrictions serve to limit this kind of worship. But prayer and supplication can be offered anywhere, everywhere, and by every person. Because of this, the prophets rebuke people for being overzealous in bringing sacrifices. Unquote. The Midrash says that in the Messianic age, all sacrifices will be abolished, except for the Thanksgiving offering. But Maimonides still emphasized that the best must be reserved for God. Quote, everything that is for the sake of God should be of the best and most beautiful. When you build a house of prayer, it should be more beautiful than your own dwelling. When you feed the hungry, you should feed him of the best and sweetest of your table. When you clothe the naked, you should clothe him with the finest of your clothes. Whenever you designate something for a holy purpose, you should sanctify the finest of your possessions. As it is written in the Torah, quote, the choicest is for God. Unquote. The Lubavitcher Rebbe added that if a school day includes both religious and secular studies, the religious should be taught in the morning when the mind is freshest and most receptive. And if one has two jobs, one to make a living and one to benefit humanity, the latter must take priority. Now here's my central question. Why do most people have a strong feeling that life is a zero-sum game? Some of our life experiences suggest that it is not. For example, our knowledge increases as we get older. We create new things in our productive years. If you're nice to others, they may be nice to you. Both gain. No one loses. If you're surly to others, they may be surly to you. Both lose. No one gains. Zero-sum implies quantification, but some things cannot always be quantified, such as love, happiness, success, etc. But other life experiences suggest life is indeed a zero-sum game, whenever resources are few and limited. For example, the Talmud says, quote, suppose two people are traveling far from civilization. One of them has a pitcher of water sufficient for only one person. The other has no water. If both drink, they will both die. But if only one drinks, he can reach civilization and survive. Rabbi Akiva taught, if the pitcher is yours, you may drink alone. Your life takes precedence over his life. Unquote. There are three reasons why many people believe life is a zero-sum game. First, people are convinced there must be a higher power that makes things happen. Given that, how do you make that higher power do what you want? Answer, give it what you would wish to receive yourself. Children, fine food, luxury items, etc. If what you wish does happen, you conclude that your strategy worked. If it doesn't, you conclude the higher power is angry and that you must give it more. Second, people find it reassuring to believe that there is some power they can bargain with, that life is not all luck and randomness. Third, some people don't believe it naturally, but are taught to believe it by religious authorities who use this belief to control and exploit them. Is this zero-sum game belief changing? It is rooted in expectations. In olden days, people did not expect anything. They felt deeply they had to work for everything and provide some kind of payment for what they got. But this belief is changing in the West. Prosperity, democracy, basic rights made people feel entitled to a lot of things without having to give anything in return. Also, secularism is partly at fault. If you're secular and the authority is an elected government, you feel entitled and don't feel you need to give it back, give anything back. If you're religious and the authority is God's, you do feel the need to earn what you get. Is feeling entitled a good attitude? Yes and no. It is good to feel entitled to intangibles, to rights such as democracy, free speech, free exercise of religion, free enterprise, equality before the law, etc. But it is not good to feel entitled to tangible things such as basic income, food, shelter, medical care, etc., especially if one is able to earn them but doesn't. It is also not good to feel entitled to get more than others, tangible or intangible. All in all, the feeling that we must earn what we get can only lead to good, as long as the earning does not involve doing evil. Shabbat Shalom.